I didn't mean for him to see it. That box, empty now, was meant to stay hidden, deep in my pocket, like everything else I tried to bury. His voice cracked. You sold it? I couldn't breathe right. My fingers still numb from that pawnshop counter, from the metal tray where I left it behind. My hands cold. Not just from weather, from guilt. I didn't answer. I didn't have words. Only shame. His pheromones shifted in the air, brushing past my skin like smoke. Not like before. Not cedarwood in warmth. Just hollow. Like something had broken inside him. Not rage. Not claim. Just defeat. And that hurt more. My chest burned. My throat locked. He took one step back, and my mind, my traitorous, aching mind, ran back. Illyria. 3 years ago, before I learned how to lie with my smile, before I hid my scent with suppressants, before I started running from everything. I was just a nobody. Low-rank Omega. Background noise in hallways. No family name, no crest. No protection. And he was everything I should have feared. Tall, sharp eyes, shoulders that carried the weight of a whole bloodline. Son of the crest-bearing Alpha House. Untouchable. Commanding. But the first time he walked past me, he stopped. I remember how my hands trembled even then. How I clutched my books tighter just to stop them from falling. I thought he was going to shove me aside or ignore me like the others. But he didn't. You dropped your pen, he said. I hadn't. Still, he held it out. His fingers brushed mine. My scent must have fluttered. I saw his pupils narrow. You smell like rain, he murmured. I turned away. I didn't know what to say. Omegas weren't supposed to draw attention, especially not from someone like him. Next day he sat near me in class. Then after that, behind me. Then, one day, beside me. He never touched me without reason. But he lingered, always close, always watching. I thought maybe he was just bored, or playing some kind of game, until he gave me the ring. It wasn't flashy. Not a diamond. Just a plain band with the faint carving of a mountain crest. His family's symbol. I want you to wear it, he said. Eyes fixed on mine. No one else touches you if they see this. My mouth had gone dry. But, I'm not yours. You will be, he replied. I should have run then. But instead, I wore it. I wore it every day. His scent had become home. That slow cedar warmth. Like snow melting under a fire. When I was near him, I forgot the hunger of being unloved. I forgot the shame of my broken lineage. I forgot everything except how he looked at me, like I was his. And I was. Even though he never said the words again. Even though we never kissed. Even though his touch never went lower than my wrist. Still, I belonged to him. And he knew it. I was the one who pretended. I told myself he'd forget. That he would choose someone of his rank. That this was temporary. But the way he looked at me in silence, it carved into my skin. It all changed the night I overheard his father. You'll bring disgrace if you mark a gutter-born Omega. He didn't deny it. He didn't say my name. He didn't say anything. So I ran. No scent left behind. No letter. Just the ring in my pocket, too afraid to toss. Too painful to wear. I wore blockers. I moved cities. I erased every trace of him. I pretended my gland didn't ache at nights. Pretended I didn't dream of cedar smoke and calloused fingers brushing my nape. But time didn't erase his scent from my memory. And when money ran out, and my heat cycles got worse, and the ring in my pocket became just a reminder of what I never really had, I sold it. I needed the money. I needed to forget. I needed it gone. But now, he stood in front of me again. Older, sharper, still holding that weight in his shoulders. Still looking at me like I never left, but something in his eyes cracked when he saw that box. You sold it? He asked again. His voice wasn't cruel, it was soft, like breath trying not to tremble. I had to, I whispered. No answer, just the sound of air shifting as his pheromones turned bitter. He walked past me, didn't touch me, didn't shout. Just one line, quiet as a broken promise. You said you'd keep it. I stood there after he left. Frozen. I hadn't cried in 3 years. But that night, alone, my hands pressed against my chest where the ring used to rest. I cried like something inside me had been marked and erased all over again. I always kept my eyes low. Alphas had a way of looking that made my skin crawl like I was something they could taste just by breathing. Their scents were always too loud, too sharp, like metal and musk pressed too close to my nose. I hated it. I hated the way my body noticed them before my mind could say no. So I kept quiet, kept small, walked fast in corridors, especially during heat season, used blockers, bit my tongue, hid my gland behind high collars and long hair. But his scent was different. First time I noticed him was during library duty. He stood behind me, just standing, not moving, not talking, just breathing slow, steady. Cedar wood. A little warmth, like dried firewood and something cold burning underneath. Not suffocating, not biting, but deep. It curled under my skin instead of stabbing through it. I didn't turn, but I didn't move away either. "You like this book?" he asked finally. I didn't know what he meant. I was holding it because it filled my hands, not because I was reading it. Still, I nodded. "You don't talk much." I shook my head. He hummed. "I'll walk you home." I blinked. I hadn't even said I was leaving. But he followed anyway. That first time he didn't ask questions. Just walked silently beside me, keeping 3 steps behind. Like a shadow that kept me warm instead of cold. The second day he waited outside the classroom. The third, he brought coffee. "I didn't know your heat cycle, so I got decaf," he said, setting it down next to my elbow without asking. I didn't respond. I just stared at the cup. It had my name on it, spelled right. No one ever spelled it right. The cup shook a little in my hand as I picked it up. His scent grew stronger. Not aggressive, just present. Like he noticed even that tremble. After that, he became a habit. I never invited him. He never asked permission. But he was always there. Behind me in lines. Across from me during meals. Waiting outside classes. Walking 1 step beside. 1 step behind. His fingers never touched me, but his scent surrounded me like second skin. I should have questioned it. I should have said no. But I didn't. Because for the first time, my body wasn't afraid. His scent didn't burn. It stayed. And I started to wait for it. One morning, I tried blocking my scent more than usual. Sprayed the collar twice. Swallowed extra suppressant. When he walked in, I saw his nose twitch slightly. Saw how his eyes scanned me. Then he stepped closer than ever. "You blocked too much," he said softly. I didn't reply. My pulse pounded. "Don't do that," he whispered. "I need to know you're okay." His voice low, careful, wrapped around my spine. I nodded barely. That evening he offered to walk me again. I said, "You don't have to." "I want to," he answered. We walked in silence. Streetlights flickered like stars between buildings. He carried my books without asking. When we reached the door, I expected him to leave. He didn't. Instead, his gaze drifted toward the Omega safe lock on my door. "You should change that," he murmured. "It's old. Easy to bypass." I stared at him. He didn't smile. He never smiled. But his eyes held something heavier than warmth, like control coiled into gentleness. "I'm not gonna break in," he added, voice like a hush. I didn't think that I lied. He leaned in, just enough for me to feel his breath near my ear. "Good. But still, change it." That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was scared, but because his scent still lingered in my throat and I didn't want it to fade. Things changed slowly, or maybe too fast. I couldn't tell. One day, another alpha bumped into me in the hallway. Tall, loud, reeking of cinnamon and musk. He laughed, flirted, called me pretty thing. I didn't even respond. Just looked down. But that same evening, I felt him, my alpha, waiting outside my building. His coat dark, shoulders tense. "What happened today?" he asked. "And nothing," I lied. He stepped closer. "Don't smile at others like that," he said, voice low. I blinked. I didn't smile. His jaw clenched. "Don't look at them like that then." My breath caught. "It means something when you look." I didn't know what to say. He stepped even closer. "They smell you. I can tell." I swallowed. "You smell me too." He nodded once. "Yeah. But they don't get to." His voice was steady, but there was fire beneath it. Not jealousy. Possession. I should have been scared. But instead, my knees weakened. After that, no one came near me. Other alphas stopped looking. Some even stepped away in hallways. I didn't understand at first. Until I saw it. The tiny pack crest stitched onto my bag. His family's sigil. I never put it there. He did. He never mentioned it. I never took it off. Weeks passed. We never kissed. Never touched. But he was always near. His scent in my books. His name on my coffee. His voice in my dream. And slowly, I stopped hiding. I didn't use as much suppressant. I let my gland breathe a little at night. Because maybe, just maybe, I wanted him to scent me too. I thought I could disappear. After graduation, I packed what little I had and vanished into a city where names meant nothing and scents blurred in the smog. I blocked everything, my heat, my memories, my scent, especially him. But scent is cruel. It remembers what I try to forget. One mistake, just one. I was tired, sick, suppressants wearing off. It flared before I could hide it right in front of the wrong alpha. One I didn't know, one who smelled me too closely. I panicked. I ran. But I didn't run far enough. That night, I was summoned. Back to the house I once swore I'd never see again. Pack crest above the door. Heavy air. Walls that held his scent like ghosts. They made me wait in a room I didn't recognize. Not his. But the carpet clean thick still held that cedar warmth underneath. Like, I didn't sit. My legs shook. The door opened slow. And then he was there. 3 years and he hadn't changed. Still tall. Still cold in the eyes. But something sharper now. Like the silence around him could cut. His nostrils flared. You didn't block your gland. I swallowed. I didn't mean to. He stepped in. Door shut behind him with a soft click, but it felt like a lock. His scent hit first. Not just cedar. Deeper now. Stronger. Mixed with something burning low. Like an alpha near the edge. My heat responded. Traitorous. Weak. I was careful, I whispered. Stepping back. Clearly not enough. His voice low, like gravel smoothed by ice. Sank into my skin. I backed up until my knees hit the bed frame. You shouldn't have come back, I said. I didn't ask you to. I didn't mean for this. Stop saying that. I froze. He moved slow. Controlled. But the air between us pulled tight. I warned you once, he murmured, stepping closer. Told you not to show your scent to others. I didn't show anyone. You flared in public. I didn't. He was in front of me now. Too close. His hand raised, didn't touch, but hovered near my face. You think I wouldn't notice? He said, voice quieter now. I smelled you across 3 blocks. I blinked fast. I thought you forgot me. He laughed. Bitter. Quiet. No, he said. You thought I would forget. His eyes dropped to my neck. Gland exposed. My collar loose. Suppressants failing. You didn't even try to hide it. I did, but my body didn't care. I felt the bond pull, old, faded, but still there. Still aching. He leaned forward. Breath near my nape. My knees went soft. I grabbed the edge of the table behind me. Don't, I whispered. He didn't listen. His lips brushed my gland. Not a kiss. A warning. I shivered. Heat rising too fast now. My body knew him. Remembered him. Welcomed him. Even as I tried to step back. I'm not yours, I said. It came out broken. No, he whispered. But you were. I turned my head. You let me go. His breath hitched. I never said you could leave, he murmured. My hand pushed against his chest. Weak. Shaking. Please don't do this. His tongue touched my gland. My vision blurred. Not a full bite. Just a graze. Just enough to remind my body what it was supposed to crave. I gasped. Heat flooded my core. Legs trembled. My scent spiked, sharp and wet. He inhaled. Slow. Deep. I told you, he said, don't show your scent to anyone. I tried to pull away. I didn't mean to. He grabbed my wrist. Not hard. But firm. Possess it. You keep saying that. Tears stung my eyes. Because it's true. He looked at me then, really looked, eyes dark. Hurt, angry, tired. You left, he said, without a word. I had to. No, he said. You wanted to. I turned my head away. His grip loosened. Silence fell. Thick with everything we never said. I thought he'd yell, or leave. Instead he stepped back. Slowly. As if it took effort to peel himself away. "You're still mine," he said softly. "No. You're still mine," he repeated. My heart pounded. His scent filled the room. My heat curled around it. I wanted to scream, to sob, to fall into his arms and pretend 3 years didn't happen. But I stood frozen, gland throbbing, pulse ruined. He didn't bite, not fully, but it didn't matter. I was already marked. The moment I stepped into the corridor, I knew something was wrong. The air, too thick, too hot. The lights above buzzed low, but the hallway felt dark. My chest tightened. His scent burned the edges of my nose. Cedar wood, usually warm, was now sharp. Feral. I gripped the wall. My fingers curled against the cold marble, but it didn't help. My legs shook. My spine arched without command. My glands, raw, unprotected, flared. They responded before my mind caught up. His rut had begun. And I was still inside the same building. I tried to turn, but my body betrayed me. My knees hit the floor. I gasped. It was like drowning in his pheromones, waves crashing again and again. My breath came shallow. My shirt clung to my skin, damp with sweat. My throat dried. I needed to run, but I couldn't stand. And then I heard him. Heavy footsteps. Measured. Slow. No hesitation. My heart stopped beating properly. I didn't lift my head. I didn't dare. He spoke, voice hoarse, too low to be fully human. "You should have left earlier." I flinched. His shadow fell over me. I opened my mouth to say something, anything, but the words tangled. I didn't know you were. Don't lie." My body pulsed in reaction. My scent spiked, thick with heat. I hated it. Hated how easily my body gave in. He crouched beside me, one finger under my chin. He tilted my face up. His eyes were wrong. Dilated, black rimmed with gold. No control left, just instinct. "You're leaking," he murmured. I sobbed. "Please don't." He didn't answer, just leaned in. His nose brushed my neck. My scent gland twitched under his breath. I whimpered. "No blockers," he muttered. "No suppressants. I didn't plan this. You knew what would happen." His hand cupped the back of my neck. I jerked, tried to pull back, but I had no strength left. "Let me go," I whispered. He didn't listen. The moment his lips touched my gland, something in me shattered. He licked slow, deep, once. Then again, my body arched. I sobbed again, not from pain but from everything I was trying to hold in. "I'm sorry," I breathed. "Please stop." But he was past the point of stopping. He bit, not hard, not enough to break deep, but enough to mark, enough to burn his crest into my skin. The air around us buzzed. My vision blurred. I clutched his shoulders, not in embrace, just to survive. His heat poured into me like wildfire. My body collapsed fully against him. He didn't speak, just held me, mouth pressed to the bite, breathing fast and hard. When it was done, silence fell. I trembled in his arms. The bond screamed, half finished, unstable, raw. I wanted to scream too, but no sound came. He pulled back, looked at me, his pupils shrank. His hands began to shake. He started, then stopped. He stared at the mark, at the skin where his teeth had broken me. I shouldn't have. I didn't answer. Tears streamed down my cheeks. He reached out as if to wipe them, then froze. "I lost control," he whispered. I nodded. I couldn't hate him, but I hated myself. The scent of our bond hung in the air, heavy, sharp. He stood slowly, backed away like he was afraid of himself. But it was too late. His crest had already bloomed across my neck. His claim, permanent. They grabbed me when I was weakest. Heat haze hadn't faded fully. My body still trembling from the mark. I was alone, barely aware. The world tilted sideways when I stepped out of the building. A van, 3 alphas. No warning, no sound. Just sharp hands, masked scents, and something cold pressing over my mouth. I remember the scent blocker collar snapping shut around my neck, then black. When I woke, everything felt wrong. The floor beneath me cold. Too clean. Too quiet. The room, unfamiliar. Metallic. I reached for my gland out of instinct. But my fingers brushed steel. Collar. Thick. Heavy. My scent, gone. I choked on air that wasn't mine. Reeked of suppressants, of unfamiliar alphas, of sterile control. My bond screamed. Not in words. Not even in pain. Just emptiness. He couldn't smell me anymore. He wouldn't find me. Unless, I closed my eyes and screamed his name in silence. In my mind, in my heart, in whatever strings still tied me to him, please. I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die unknown. Hours passed. Or maybe days. They didn't speak to me, only checked the collar, replaced the blocker spray, injected more numbness into my arms. I couldn't move, could barely breathe. And then, something shifted. It started in the air, just a hum. Low, distant, then sharp. A growl. I thought I imagined it, until the scent hit. Cedar. Fire. Blood. Rage. His rage. My eyes flew open. No footsteps this time. No warning. Just pressure, pure alpha dominance rolling through the walls like thunder. The guards flinched. One staggered. Another gasped. He didn't touch them. He didn't need to. His scent did it all. It poured into every crack, every corner of the room, crushed the air around me. I couldn't breathe for a different reason now. My lungs choked on longing. The door slammed open. He stood there, his coat soaked in rain and something darker. Eyes glowing gold, gland pulsing visible rage. He said nothing, just walked. Every alpha in the room dropped. On instinct. On terror. One tried to speak, but the growl that left his throat silenced the world. They crawled back. He passed through them like shadow. Straight to me. His eyes didn't blink, didn't shift, only me. I tried to speak, but the collar burned. He knelt slowly, his hands blood-stained lifted to my neck. They masked your scent, he whispered. His voice, it broke something in me. I sobbed. He didn't wait. His fingers found the latch, tore the blocker from my throat in one brutal snap. It clattered on the ground. Air rushed back. I gasped. My scent spilled out. Wild. Raw. Uncontrolled. And his eyes changed. Not rage, now. Possession. He leaned in. No hesitation. His tongue traced my gland fast, sharp. Like he couldn't bear the delay. The bond roared back. I felt it like something slammed into my chest. My body jolted. The tears came faster. My scent clung to his skin, to his lips, to everything around us. He didn't ask, he just claimed. Again, I collapsed forward. He caught me. I sobbed in his arms. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't need to. He was already here. The silence inside the pack house was heavy, like breath held too long. I stood in the same room where it all began, my knees still a little weak from everything that happened. My skin sore where his bite still throbbed. I could feel the shape of his teeth on my neck. Every heartbeat echoed through it. I sat across from him. Distance between us, but no space. Not really. His scent had already claimed the air, soaked into the couch, wrapped around my body like invisible chains. He didn't speak. Neither did I. Until I had to. Why keep chasing me? My voice cracked. It came out softer than I meant. But it was real. He looked at me then. Not like before. Not with rage. Not with longing. Just calm. Quiet. Something colder. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out the promise ring. The same one I sold. Clean now. Polished. Shining like I never wore it in shame. He placed it in my hand. Gently. Like it still meant something. I never stopped planning, he said. My breath caught. He leaned back slightly, arms resting on his thighs. You thought you ran, but I just waited. I stared at the ring. You bought it back? I never stopped tracking it. I blinked slowly. The weight of it settled in my palm like truth. You planned all of it? His eyes didn't waver. The invitation, the heat, the suppressants in your new place. Even the one who flared your scent in public. My blood ran cold. I shook my head. No, I couldn't risk you slipping away again. I gripped the ring tighter. You used me. I protected you. You used me. He leaned forward. You left me. I stared at him. My vision blurred. You sold the ring, he said softly, but you never sold your scent. My hand trembled. I tried, I whispered, but your scent still called me. He moved toward me slowly. No rush. No warning. He sat beside me. His thigh brushed mine. I didn't move away. His fingers touched my neck. Then lips. Right over the bite. A soft kiss. Not hungry. Not demanding. Just, now it's permanent. I closed my eyes. Tears slipped down my cheek. I hate you. I know. I loved you. I know. His hand cupped the side of my face. I still do, I said, voice breaking. I never stopped, he replied. And I belong to him.